Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of the Long Drive here on Tech Nerds Entertainment. I will be your host on this crazy adventure, Logan. So let's go ahead and get started here. This is our first episode on our first channel as we get the ball rolling with the Long Drive. If you know nothing about the game, the title is pretty much what it is. It is a long drive. You get a car. There are other cars. We start with this one. It has stuff. It has a trunk. The spare. It has an engine. It goes. So each week we're going to hop in. We're going to do a little bit of driving, probably between 50 to 100 kilometers. Any more than that, and it just gets long and boring. Any less, and the episodes go by really quickly. So we're going to poke around here, get this car up and started. This first episode will probably be a little less than 50 to 100 kilometers, simply because we have money. A lot to do to get up and going. Now, a lot of this you can skip over. The car doesn't have to look good, but we want it to look good. So let's go ahead and see what we've got in here. I have a lovely little giraffe toy. It does nothing. Alarm clock. Honestly, I don't know what the feather duster does. It dusts. I really don't know what it does beyond that. I have a computer, a television, feather duster running away, a little music box, a moped engine. We don't want a moped. Some cigarettes, some alcohol. Oh yeah, that was good. Alright, we got a sponge, we got a bucket. Let's go ahead and bring this sponge in here, because we're going to need the sponge. Put the sponge there, close the door. We have our car, small little engine with some oil. Oof, that radiator has seen better days. So let's go ahead and just fill both of these up so we can get started. Let's see. And full. Alright. A tub of oil. We got some extra tires that are not in the best of shape. We'll take a look at how all that actually works in just a minute once we get the engine ready. We have a jerry can. Let's put some water. Okay, there we go. Put some water into the radiator. And throw the jerry can back under there. Okay. Close this, close this, close this. Alright. More alcohol. Got a spray can. More alcohol. A gauge, a bar, some gold. Okay. We got a nice shiny hubcap. Let's go down in the basement really quick. We do have a basement. Light switch. Boop. Anything down here? A lot more alcohol. Dude is apparently a bit of a wino. Okay, we got another spray can. And diesel fuel. Diesel fuel is not really going to help us out too much because this is a gas-burning engine, of course. Let's go see what else is out here besides the evil rabbits that will try to murder us. A big tire. A bunch more water, which we don't need. A little outhouse. Oh, what's this? What's this? Gas? No, more water that we don't really need. Rabbit. Oh, there's a garage. Not too far away. That's always nice. Alright, let's come back in here and close this. Keep us safe from the rabbits. Okay, see, we need to go upstairs. Normally, I'll go ahead and clean the car up, but we need to get the tires in the best shape that they can be. The better shape your tires are in, the better they handle. So like this guy looks pretty bad. Actually, these look better. So we're going to swap out for this one. But in order to clean it, we take our little squirt bottle. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see that made a lot of difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's nice and shiny. Now, of course, we could shine up the rim, get rid of all the rust. But do we have a brush? Hey, there's a brush. Let's do that real quick, since we can. Okay. Scrape. Come on, rust. Hey, there comes the rust. There we go. Now it looks a lot better. So that tire is very usable now. The wheels don't really matter as much. We'll get them cleaned up later on. That tire's actually in really good shape. But for now, they are fine. Here we go. Boop. Boop. We'll drop that. We'll spin this guy around. Go ahead and clean all the rusties off. Clean the rust, clean the rust, clean the rust. Oh, and our brush is done for. Awesome. Alright, so we got 2 tires perfectly done. We got 8 sprays left, which will get us. Oh, that tire is terrible. Let's see if this tire over here looks any better. And it certainly does. Alright, so this tire is perfect. Alright, so the good news, we got 3 perfect tires. Bad news, we still have 1 that is really bad. Ooh, let's go. Get out of the way, car. Let me through. There we go. Let's go upstairs, because there's a small little upper area that we can get into. Let's go see what we can find. Maybe we'll find something useful. Close this to keep the rascally rabbits out. Got a mirror that we don't need. Hey, and not a snake. Not a snakes are always useful. Use those to transfer fluids from one vehicle to another or one device to another. Katana. We don't want to take that. If we take that, it's going to be too likely that the rabbits will get close. Number 1, Hooer and Fuchs. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's a language. I do not know. Bucket has water. Kick the bucket. Okay, more spray. Perfect. Okay. So, now then, we can put this tire back on. Go ahead and take this horrible oh god, hubcap. Boop. Okay. This hubcap off. And if you're wondering, the hubcap does have to come off just to take the tire off. No idea why. I guess realism. Boom. Perfect tire. Got it. Okay, so now then. Our car is going to drive about as well as it can, all things considered. Simply because we fixed the tires. The tires are very important. Without the tires being done, we're going to slide and skim and just be all over the place. And we do not want that. Buff out the car, make it nice and shiny. There we go. Nice pretty red. This actually isn't terrible. This is generally the color I kind of go for anyway. So I have played this game before, obviously. Done one complete playthrough just to kind of get a feel for it and see how it goes. It's actually a really fun game if you're into this sort of thing. Like I said, it is just driving. You go in a straight line for the most part. There's curves and hills and twists, but you drive. That's all there is to it, but it's still a really fun game. Especially if you work in a field that's very stressful. Gives you something to just kind of come back and chill, and you can even turn the rabbits off. The rabbits are evil. They will kill you. Okay. Well, that kind of sucks. Okay, good enough, I guess. So I'm going to open this door. Let's come over here. Let's get the little Cinti tree. We're going to put it on our mirror. Oop. Take this. We're going to put our not a snake inside the glove box so it doesn't go anywhere. Once things go in the glove box, they just kind of stay there and aren't really affected by the game's physics. Anything that's not in the glove box or one of these little baskets for the most part will be affected by physics. Throw it in the trunk, you have a bad crash, that stuff will bounce around, it can even flip out. And we definitely do not want that. So let's take our little basket. Baskets can be attached to all kinds of places. We can stick them on the car, we can pick them up, we can throw them, we can do that. And then whatever you put in the basket will just kind of stay there. I think for now I'm going to put this basket in the seat. And that way I can drop... wait, was the sponge dead? No, the sponge is not dead. So we'll just kind of take this, we'll put it right there. So you notice it's not moving anymore, it's no longer affected by physics. I'm gonna take this guy too, just because they can be kind of useful at times. If we need it later, we'll have it. If we don't, we can always ditch it. Alright, so the fuel tank is unfortunately back here. How much gas do we have? Half a liter. That's not great. Put however much is in this in. Do 2 liters extra there. Starting out, this game is always a little hard on fuel. You'll usually find enough pretty quick that you don't have to worry about it, but starting out, you definitely want to keep as much fuel around as you can. Dang, that won't fit. Okay. Alright, so we're going to put this guy in the trunk. Hope we don't have a wreck that causes it to go flying. We'll take some extra water too, just because that radiator does not look the best, which means it's probably going to leak. Same thing with the oil. There we go, we have a little extra of each of the fluids. Our car is about as clean as we can get it. We don't need... Good lord. I don't even know what these would be used for. So I think about the last thing we want to do. We're going to open this door, close this one back. I'm going to take our alarm clock. The alarm clock doesn't really do anything, but it lets us know what time it is. By knowing what time it is, we can guesstimate how long we're going to sleep. I think it's about 8 hours that we sleep. So if we go to sleep too early, we won't sleep all the way through the night, and we'll wake up and it will still be dark, which we don't really want. Okay, that goes there. Doesn't look great as it sticks out the A-pillar, but what are you gonna do? Alright, so we have our little BB gun here. It's not the best weapon in the game, but it is a weapon. Just go ahead and get it loaded. Boop. Zoom in a little bit. It will help protect... Hello. Nice. It will help protect us some from the Wescally Wabbits. But not a whole lot. Later on we can find a pistol, and actually I have found a pistol in here before. Let's see if we still have it. There is this little hidden area. What is this? What is this? What? I don't know what this is. We can attach it to things. Bordokos Calippo. I'm gonna Google that real quick. We're gonna cut this part out. Alright, yeah, we don't really know what that thing is, but we're just gonna kind of leave it there. Alright, so this gets us into the chimney. So let's see. Hey, we do have a revolver in here. Haha, yes. So there's our revolver. There's also a AK and AK-47 that we can pick up as we go. Alright. So I guess we can go ahead and get started. There are binoculars. I don't usually use the binoculars simply because, oh, it's gotten dark. There's really no need to see that far away, and I've got my draw distance up pretty far, but it still never really seems to help that much. Go ahead and turn our headlights on, start the car, put it in reverse, fix our mirrors for safety. Okay, I don't think there's any other cars on the road. Oop, parking brake off. And out we go. So, oh, holy crap. Whoa. Well, that's a first. We have a little dome light, which is illegal in all 50 United States, as I'm sure you're all aware. Alright, so it's gotten dark. Driving in the dark is never a fun thing to do, simply because rocks will sneak up on you in a bloody hurry. So, like I mentioned, we have our little clock. It is about 10 minutes after 8. I will usually drive until about 9, 10 o'clock. At that point, I've found a nice spot to stop for the night, and I can usually just kind of wait it out by sleeping. So we're going to actually let's just go ahead and have us asleep, and we'll get through this first night, falling asleep. Boom. So that usually advances, I think it's 8 hours. Should put us about 4 a.m. Yeah, and it's about 5, so yeah, 8 hours. There's an outhouse with what looks to be a person in it. Do not want to go mess with that. Okay, we saw something, didn't we, when we started out? Okay, maybe I lied. Maybe those binoculars. Hey, there it is. Okay, so normally the buildings are on the road, but that's a big old garage off to the side. So we're gonna go check that out. Each of the buildings, there's only a handful of different types of buildings in the game, and they generally all have similar stuff. But each of the building types usually has its own specific set of things that spawn. So this big garage with the antenna tower on top has these nice wide double doors that you could pull a vehicle into. A lot of the times there's actually a vehicle inside. There's not in this one. But there's a ton of parts, there's a ton of fluids, all sorts of things. So let's take a look. We got a bunch of alcohol, got a toilet, we got some tires, some body panels, we have oil gas mix, a license plate, a barrel of oil. We need a license plate. We need our bumper umbrella, as well as this door. Hey, we found spray. Spray is good. Spray helps. Alright, that's good. So if you've noticed, I've been counting out 4. That's because it takes 4 sprays to make a change. So right now we're at 3. It wouldn't do any good to put those 3 sprays on, because it seems like after just a moment, it actually erases the fact that you've put those on. So we're not going to waste those. This sponge that we just found. Finish the door. There we go. So the door is good. This bumper looks like crap. Can we do this, or do we need a brush? Looks like we need a still brush. Oh, used up the sponge. Okay. What else is in here? Sophia. Okay, so the story behind calling the bat Sophia. There's a YouTuber by the name of Sophia, and one of her whole big things is bats and bat wings and all kinds of stuff, particularly with dressing to look like a bat. She likes things that makes her look like a bat. So the first time I came across this, I just nicknamed it Sophia, and it's kind of stuck. So we always keep our little Sophia hanging off the back as a little good luck icon. And we do not want to depart from that. So, what's this? Ooh, this is a bumper that. Is this our? I don't think it's our part. Oh, it does. Wait, does it? Put it in. Huh. Alright, so it does fit, but it doesn't fit our headlights. Oh, there are square headlights. I bet that's the square headlight variant, which we don't use because we don't have square headlights. If we had the square headlights, I would say let's do it. Extra mirror. Ooh, brush. Wait, did that? That is blood. I have never questioned why there is so much blood at these places, nor do I particularly want to. I just kind of leave it and let it do its own little thing. And we are, of course, playing in the winter biome, just because that's apparently what I had it set to. So, what else do we have? That one's empty. We have a bucket of water and booze. Some motors. Oh, there's some gas. So I said, starting out, gas is always kind of in short supply. So we're going to be grabbing it wherever we can get it, just until we get this tank filled up, which it does hold a whopping 50 liters of fuel. So it may take a while or something. Man, a bunch of baskets. Ooh, is this the big motor? Ah, the big motor. So, let's do this. So there are a bunch of variations of engines and motors in this game. This one is my favorite. It's the biggest, most powerful of the gasoline engines. We started with the kind of like mid-size. So we're just going to swap this out. It doesn't have any oil, so we need to find some oil. Which I think, didn't one of these have oil? Yeah, there we go. So we can just tip this up, open this, and fill this up. And full. Alright, perfect. Sweet. Look at that, we've already got us a bigger engine. We need to find a nicer radiator if there's a nicer radiator. Nice. Well, this has been a rather fortuitous start. Put that over there, grab this. I have heard different things that you can use in these in place of water to keep your radiator cool. I've heard that you can use blood. I don't particularly want to try it, just because if the radiator doesn't work, your engine overheats and just refuses to move. We do not want to be more gas. We don't want to be pushing our car through the middle of the frozen desert because we did something stupid. Although maybe down the road that would be something fun to do. Okay. But we brought extra water. One of the reasons we do this. Alright, so let's gotta open this radiator. So one of the really nice things is the nicer these components are. So like that radiator being super nice and shiny, it's gonna drip a lot slower and lose. Oh no. Oh no 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 no. I think not, good sir. It seems like the longer you stay in one spot, the rabbits start to spawn in and come after you. So we do not want to stay here too long. But, oh, there's so much good stuff. There's another Sophia. Baskets out the wazoo. There's a brush. We can go ahead and put things in the baskets and they stop having physics already. So let's just go ahead and grab this basket. I'm gonna drop it right there for a minute. Rush back in, grab this basket. Drop it out here, okay. So that's got oil, that's got some water. As long as it's got some water in it, I think we'll be fine until we can hit a stop that has another Sophia that has more water. So we're not going to worry too much about that. So I think we're just going to grab this basket. We'll place these on the car and we will go ahead and get out of here before too many more rabbits start to spawn in. Alright, so that's 3 more baskets. That should be enough for now. We're taking one of these in the back seat, so we know that they're there. This will allow us to store stuff in the car without really having to worry too much about where it's going and if it's going to bounce out in a wreck. Okay, that one shuts. That one shuts. Okay, I'm always torn on these spare tires. That one actually looks really good. Do we actually need the spare tire? This game doesn't really have flats, but your tires can go flying off in a wreck if it's bad enough. But I'm going to say for now, we don't really need it. Watch that come back to bite us. But we're gonna head. I don't want to stay here too long and get eaten by a rabbit. Alright, so engine is... Oh, more rabbits are coming. Time to leave, time to leave. Okay. We got out of there pretty safe. So, we're heading back toward the road. We don't really want to lose our way. If we get too far from the road, it can be hard to find your way back. And in that case, you just get lost and drive through the desert, hoping to find something. Oh, and this is the hard part. For some reason, these cars love to start flipping and jumping all over the place as you merge back onto the road from ground. Try to do this as easy as possible. Boom, there we go. So we've got our little gauge clusters, we've got everything going. Temps are fine, speedometer is fine. We've already went 2.7 kilometers. Ooh, there's a boat. Boats are nice, and we will explain more when we get to the boat. So we've got our little speedometer, we've got our odometer down there telling us how far we went, which will pop out in a wreck if we're not careful. We can lose that, and then we won't actually know how far we've driven, which will be really bad considering we have a goal that we want to hit. So, there's a double building. Double buildings are another one of the handful of building types in the game. They tend to have a smattering of things like water and usually a sponge or two, a brush. Nothing. I usually end up not stopping at them. They're just really not worth it. They rarely have fuel or anything that we're going to need on the trip. Oh man, this car's a little squirmy. I'm getting used to it, okay. Continuing on. So the ship off in the distance, it's a cargo ship. They appear to have been wrecked and left out here in the middle of these deserts, which makes you think that they probably were here before this was a desert, leading you to believe that this may have been a giant waterway at one point. Maybe a giant lake or an ocean. Apparently there are hints in the game through the radio stations that mention a robot uprising, so some kind of AI robotic takeover, but there's not really any evidence of that. We never see another person. Oh, rock. Oh, no. Okay. We never see evidence of other people. We will occasionally find the odd dismembered arm or leg, buckets of blood, things like that, and killer rabbits. No evidence of robotic AI or anything like that. And the only other evidence that there's still people out here, aside from us, are the contrails, like you'll see in the sky right there, showing that planes are still flying. And occasionally at night, you'll see a red light moving through the sky, which is one of those jets. And the fact, of course, that there are radio stations that still have hosts. Aside from that, we don't see other people, we don't interact with other people. There are never cars on the road for us to see or interact with. Oh no, please stop. There we go. Oh, there we go. That's exactly what I was talking about with leaving the road. Oh, okay. So that could have been a lot worse. That could have been so much worse. Looks like all we actually lost was one hubcap. Which hubcaps fly off of these things all the time. I'm not super concerned about it. But like I said, we went off the road, we flipped, that stuff still had physics, and so it came flying out of the truck. And we have a cactus. Get out of here, cactus. Go away. Okay, so back toward... Oh no. What direction was that ship? Yeah. Oh, there it is. Well, those wrecks always come throwing you for a loop and end up making it a little hard to figure out where you were and what you were doing again. But here we are. So like I was saying, You see the contrails, you can listen to the people on the radio. There are still others out there. And also, technically the whole point of the game is to get to the end of the road. And a little bit of the lore behind that is the fact that inside your mailbox back at the start of your house is a letter from your mom wanting you to come visit. So the whole story is just kind of driving through this apparently post-apocalyptic wasteland to go visit your mom at the other end of the road. Now the length of the road, it kind of depends. I think it's gotten longer as more updates come out and things change, more things are added to the game. My first playthrough, which is the only one that's been all the way through and made it to the end of the road, I think it was 6,000, almost 7,000 kilometers before I reached the end. There we go, there's the entrance to the busted ship. So you can see there's a bunch of those blue barrels in here. And these will have various things in them, such as fuel, water, diesel, oil, mixtures of all of it. Bunch of oil. Mix. So we always just like to look through, see if there's anything that we need in bulk, such as gasoline. And just for ease of use, I like to set these up once I've looked at them, just to know what was in it, and so I don't end up looking at the same one 5 times. So, now the sun's gone down, let's go ahead and have us asleep. And we'll finish checking this out in the little bit of safety of daylight. Oh, if I can do the faucet. There we go. Sleep, 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 sleep. Okay, sun's coming up. It's never really safe in this game, but at least being able to see if the rabbits are close is always a plus. More oil that we don't need. Empty. Although we might actually take some of that oil and fill up our oil can just to keep it with us. Dang it, more oil. Alright, come on now. Mixture. The mixtures are absolutely useless. There's no way to separate them into their constituent components. So you're just left with a mix of fuel or oil or water, whatever, that you cannot use. More oil. A lot of times you'll find oil and diesel in these in great amounts. Sometimes you'll come across them and there's nothing but alcohol, basically. Oh, look at that. 55.2 liters of gasoline. Exactly what we wanted. So we've only driven about 5 kilometers and we've already gotten a full tank of fuel. We'll be able to top off our jerry can, which will be 20 liters of fuel. And we will be able to carry that with us as a reserve. That way if we do ever run out, we will know we have 20 liters of fuel, which is about a half a tank to get us wherever we need to go. Oh, this is nice. This is good. And go. Oh, this is perfect. I don't think I've ever found a full tank of gas this quickly in a game before. Usually it's a struggle the first 50 to 100 kilometers. Just keeping fuel in it, you're stopping everywhere trying to find a little bit of gas just to keep you going. So already having a full tank of gas mill on top off that jerry can is going to be amazing. Which that will give us a chance to show off the Not a Snake and how it actually works. So I hope everybody's doing well. It's the start of the week here for me right now. It's a Monday. Mondays are always the worst if you're one of those kind of people. I'm definitely one of those anti-Monday people. So I work in IT. It gets a little tedious and stressful, so having a game like this I can just kind of chill out and zone out, be able to do what I want to for a little bit, not really have to think about it, is always really nice. So I'm going to take our jerry can. We have 9.8 liters of fuel, so our jerry can won't be completely full, but there might be another one out there we can still find. So we're going to not a snake. Gonna stick him right inside the big barrel, grab this end, you put there. Alright, so it's transferring from there to there. Let's go see if we can find another thing of gasoline. Oh, that's oil. That's oil gas mix. Which would be nice if we were in a two-stroke, which there are two strokes in this game, that you do have to mix the fuel and oil just right for it to run efficiently diesel. Okay. So, out of all these barrels, we found one full of gas, a bunch full of oil, a bunch of mixes, and that's really about it. But we got a full tank of gas out of it, and a little bit in our jerry can. So I'm really not going to complain too much about it. Close this up, don't need that anymore. So we can get our not a snake back into the block bottles, which is always the fun part. Just rotate it around. Oh, let me just do this. And drop it right into the basket. Because with the basket, we don't really have to work. Let's close that. We have our jerry can with 10 liters of pure gasoline. Okay, and we are ready. Alright. Full tank of gas, we've driven 13 kilometers. Barely hit 10 and we already have a full tank. You really cannot ask for much more than that starting out. And there's the road off in the distance. So we're just going to head that direction. We'll get back onto the main road and see what we can come across. Not a whole lot out in the desert. There are these little watchtowers. They usually have, a lot of times there's a revolver, a couple of rounds in it, as well as a pair of binoculars. If you get lost, the binoculars can definitely help. I tend to not stray away from the road so much that I need the binoculars to get back. And it's really a lot easier to try to get back on the road at nighttime when the street lights are lit up, because they give off a really nice glow to help you find your way back. This way, get back up onto the road. Holy cow. About 145 kilometers an hour. Which, if I know how to do that calculation, I want to say that's somewhere around 85 miles per hour, I think. Not entirely sure. This game appears to have been made by a European dev company, just simply from the vehicles that they use, the fact that everything's in a foreign language. Well, I say foreign to me, being from America, and the fact that everything's in kilometers and liters as opposed to miles, gallons, that sort of thing. There's a left-hand drive car, though, which is standard for most of the world, outside of a few places, such as the UK, I think Japan. They do a lot of right-hand drive cars. So, I don't really know where this is based. There have been theories that because this is such a wide open stretch with fairly straight flat roads, but varying hills and mountains that you do have to cross, that this may be an ocean. Which would make sense considering all the wrecked ships that we come across. Now that being said, if we can find us a compass, which does exist and can kind of help point you back toward the road, if you already get away from it, those compasses generally show that we head southwest, which could indicate that this is the Atlantic Ocean. If we're leaving from a European nation with these types of vehicles, kilometers, liters, that sort of thing, we could be heading across the dried up Atlantic Ocean to go see our mom somewhere out in the middle of it after these oceans have dried up. But that's all conjecture, there's nothing to really say that's what actually happened. So top off the fuel tank again. Boop. full tank, look at this. Try to, drink fuel. Well, if this was real life, he would be on his way to the emergency room. There's a spray bottle. That's nice. Have some gold, some poo. And a travel companion. Do we want to take the travel companion? You know what, let's take the travel companion. We're out here by ourselves. It'll be nice to have somebody to take along with us to talk to. Rabbit. I thought I heard it. They make this horrible screeching sound. So, okay, let's get her lined up so that she can sit and see. Up. Hey, we have a passenger. Nice. Rabbit, I do not trust you. So there are apparently two types of rabbits in this game. There are the basic, just kind of jumpy, leave you alone rabbits. And then there are horrible, stand on their hind legs, scream and run at you with ridiculous, ludicrous speed rabbits. Neither of which I am a fan of. There we go, that looks a lot better. So we can't really do anything with these last two sparks, let's just see. So there's nothing more we can do to the grill. We can do something more to that bumper. Nice shiny wheel with a good tire on it. I know I said earlier I don't really take the spare tires, but I'm going to take this one. This is a really nice wheel, nice tire, nice hubcap. Everything about this is really good. So we are going to keep it, and it's not really going to hurt anything right now. So let's continue on our way. We've got 19, almost 20 kilometers under our belts already. With this being the initial episode, we're already running a little long, probably somewhere around 45 minutes. So I'd say for this episode, we're probably only going to hit about 25 kilometers. We'll see what we find at around 25 kilometers and see if maybe we can just call it a day there. Which, do not hit the rocks, do not hit the rocks. Road curves and goes that way. Let's take a shortcut. What do you say? Shortcuts in this game can be super helpful. They can be super dangerous. You see, we got a lot of speed going. We're going about 170 kilometers an hour now, which is a smidge over 100 miles an hour. But with the pop in for rocks and cacti, I guess, that can come in and hurt us real bad. It's a little scary to be going this fast. So see, that rock just popped in, and those little ones are the ones you really have to watch out for. See if we can easily... Yes, okay. Merging back onto the road at that kind of speed is always a crapshoot. It may work, we may die, you never really know. So from what I can tell, there are like three main ways to die in this game. Maybe only three. The rabbits, which are a one-hit kill. They hit you and you're dead. You can fall from a pretty high distance. The fall damage isn't, I mean, you're not going to fall off the top of your car and die, but you fall off a tall on a building like the top of one of those double buildings that spans across the road, you can die. If you get in a bad wreck, blood will splatter the front end of your car. Seems like as long as that blood is still there, you can die if you get in another wreck like that. Clean the blood off with some spray or a sponge, and that seems to kind of get you that hit point back. So it looks like we do have a building over there. We'll probably stop at that, check it out, and call it a day. The other third way to really die is from... Okay, I guess that would be the three ways. The fourth main way to die, which shouldn't really count, but it does because of this game, is just the wonky physics. You can pick something up, it can swing around and slam into you. Your car can just flip over, you try to get out, and it crushes you. And you're dead. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just kind of stuck. So here's another large garage. Let's poke around, see what we can find, and cut the engine off. See what we can find in here, and maybe call it a day. So there are these metal poles. You can stick them on your car and do stuff with them. I don't particularly know what they're really meant for, but like we could put another basket on that if we wanted to, just so we can have a ton of... Oh, yes! Oh, the wagon. Yes! So this wagon, the large full-size wagon, is my absolute favorite vehicle in this game. Big diesel engine we don't really care about. Okay, so I think what we're going to do, we're going to get this wagon up and running, and then we will call this episode having a shiny, shiny new car. We'll have to transfer the fluid since we just got a full tank of gas in our starter car. But I am perfectly okay with that. Let's see if this hood fits. Does this hood fit? Ah, the hood does fit. Yes. Alright. So let's grab some tires just to get this thing rolling. So we can get it rolling, we can push it out into the sun, be able to see a little bit better what we're doing, what we need to deal with. So, the one bad thing, it's missing its rear seat, both doors, and it's missing its rear hatch. Which is fine, we can find all of that stuff along the way. It's not a deal breaker, especially because I just love this wagon so much. I don't know what it is about it, but I love this wagon. Alright, so that should be enough that we can push this sucker out. I think. There we go. It's a moving. Kind of. Why did it stop? Come on. You can do it. Get out. Oh, probably zip right over that. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Oh, no. Oh, that's bad. Oh, I messed up. Okay, there we go. So we might have to just go ahead and take one of the wheels off of our starter car just to get this thing out of the garage. Ah, dang it. I didn't want to have to do that. But it's not wanting to roll. Probably because I've put these moped/bicycle tires on it. And while they do technically work, oh, there we go, there we go. Oh, no, 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 come back, come back, come back. Oh, stop it. Stop. Stop it. No, no, it's running away. Okay, come back here. Stop, 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 stop. No, 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 no. Stop moving. Car. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Holy cow. Okay. So that's the thing that happened. So, we're gonna run back to this car. We're gonna go hunt it down, get it back, and just do the transferring out in the middle of the desert. Then we'll come back and check this place out. Make sure there's nothing that we missed. And get that thing up and going. And then we will call this episode. Alright, so now what sucks though is it rolled off in this general direction. Is that it? That's it. That is it. Okay, so it rolled in this direction. It is still rolling in this direction. It crashed into us, that's fine. Alright, let's go ahead and sleep for the night. Sleep, sleep, sleep. And we'll get that car up and going, and we're gonna be happy. Be happy, 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 happy. Forward a smear. A smidge so we can get out. Okay. And parking brake on. Perfect. First, we're gonna take that off. There's a... what is this? There's a license plate in here. Nice. Alright, so this car is missing a ton of stuff, but that's fine. We'll find it as we go. Nothing like starting a new adventure with a car that, well, isn't really a whole car. But that's part of the fun. So we'll go ahead and put this tire on. Ooh, actually, what we probably should do, let's go ahead and take this. We'll leave the front two on. That way there's a little bit of an angle, because otherwise we probably won't be able to take the fuel out. If we can get the fuel out, we can't really do anything. A little bit of gas in here that we have. Well, we have more fuel in this little jerry can than I thought we did. Alright, so now then, we can put the jerry can here. Look at this. We'll get our not a snake. Plug the not a snake right into the fuel tank. And then there it goes. It's slow, but it is working. So we'll take that off because we don't. Wait, no, wait, that was one of our good tires. Never mind, I'm an idiot. So that goes back on there. This one we don't want. And this one. Okay, perfect. So actually I think, since we have it, we're going to take this guy. And we'll put him on, just because he has such a shiny, nice, perfect wheel. Put him there. Put that on. And of course we're going to need to take out our engine and radiator. Hopefully we'll find some water back at that garage so that we can put it. Let's burn up a little bit of oil, but it'll be okay. We can find some water and oil to top both of these off. We need to. Alright. So I mean, technically that car could go and drive right now. Whether it should or not, well, that's a whole other story. I'll drop you right there. Come on back over here. And fill this guy up with as much fuel as it will take. Now, this is only a 39-liter fuel tank versus the 50 that we had in the sedan, which means we'll come out with a full tank of gas and probably a fairly full jerry can, which is good. I love having a full jerry can. Just makes life so much easier. Alright, so that is empty. That can still take 8.1 liters of fuel. How much is left? Oh, we still have 29 in the tank. So we are pretty good as far as all that goes. Alright, so now... Alright, so this is going to be the fun part. Because there's no rear seat in this, which is fine. Rear seat just kind of takes up space and doesn't really do anything for us anyway. It's not like we're running around with a bunch of people. However, having no doors will make it a little bit more interesting. But it looks like this stuff is just going to kind of go right back in here. So let's just drop you right there. We'll put that right there. Perfect. Now we'll take our passenger and put her back on her side. Right about here. So now the crappy thing about these is wherever you're pointing, that seems to kind of center the attachment. And we have to be just so. Oh, nope. That's not what we wanted. There we go. That's good enough. Alright, we've emptied that out. Take our alarm clock. So he can tell what time it is. If we can get back out of the car. Which, it's barely easier said than done. Okay, let's get out this way. There we go. Okay, back over here. Get in this. We'll put our alarm clock. Perfect. Look at that. This came out somehow. Oop. Probably where I was messing around inside the car. Alright, so we got... Oh, that basket over there still. Keep an eye out for rabbits. I've not been doing a good job of that. Okay, we'll drop that in there. This thing is full. That still has some space. Guys, we are coming out like a bandit. Perfect. Now, you're probably wondering just why I'm wasting so much time on getting this thing up and going when we have a perfectly good car. And honestly, I just love this station wagon. It is by far my favorite vehicle in the game. It handles decently well. It is fairly quick, all things considered. It looks nice. Has a lot of storage room. It's just a good vehicle in this game. That's really all I can say about it. Put Sophia on. There we go. So I think then all we gotta do is finish draining this fuel tank, which is almost done. We've gotten everything out. Ooh, we do not have a dashboard. That kind of sucks. We don't know how fast we're going or how far. And this is the wrong bloody thing. Alright, so we're making a few concessions to take this vehicle. But honestly, I'm okay with it, just because, like I've said, I love this car. So we're going to take our jerry can, there we go. Put it down right there. Pick this guy up. Go back to this side. And we'll drop. Boom, perfect. Just we'll close this so we don't lose anything. Close this. Tire. And tire. Alright. So there's, we'll take our little Christmas tree for smells. Assuming there's a mirror, there is not. Okay, let's come back over here. Let's get the rear view out. I think I just saw a rabbit running by in the distance. We can't really stay here too much longer. Yep, there he is. Crouch down, attach that there, close this, hop in, and off we go. We have a fully functional car. Functional, yes. Complete, not by a long shot, but that's okay. Next episode we will try to find us some doors and a hatch. Here's a door, but does it fit? That's the problem. You will find doors a lot. That one, yeah, I mean, it kind of fits. It's good enough. Well, there's a seat. Do we really want the seat, though? Because then we'll have to pick these things up and move them. Honestly, I think we don't need the seat. Let's not take the seat and see what happens. We'll probably come across another one at some point. If we need the seat, we'll pick the seat up then. Oops. Alright. This is a front door. And absolutely does not fit. Although I kind of wonder if the ones that we left back there would have fit. I mean, obviously the hatch has to be a real hatch, not those. I need headlights. But you know, this is actually not a terrible start. We are going to get out of here in just a little bit though. Oh gosh, we've got to be getting close to an hour of me just rambling on and us getting started. But it's okay. The first episode can be a little bit longer. And I think out that way. See, I love this station wagon. There's a smaller version that has the small engine in it. I've never been a fan of it, but this big one I absolutely love. It just has a lot of space inside. It looks nice. That dude is not a looker. And it drives really well. So let's see if here in just a second we can find us a spot to stop. If we can, we'll go ahead and call this episode. If not, we'll park in the middle of the street. That is perfectly okay. So I don't want to ramble on for too much longer than an hour. Nobody will stay around and listen to this for an hour and a half, 2 straight hours. This is probably going to be the longest episode that we do. Most of them we're probably going to aim for about 30, 45 minutes once everything's all said and done. Oh, the Squiggle Roads. Squiggle Roads. Oh lord. There is a YouTuber who's by the name of Scapegoat. Has played this game all the way through. Actually did a really cool thing. He played it all the way through from one end to the other, and then turned around on the same save and drove all the way back home. Really fun to watch. Highly recommend checking him out. That's Scapegoat. But he likes to call those devil roads. And watching through, you can definitely see why he would call them devil roads. They certainly mess with you. They wiggle back and forth like that. They tend to be a little bouncy. And these cars do not handle the absolute best on the best of days. So you throw in a squiggly double road and it just gets all kinds of nasty really quick. And I am not seeing anywhere for us to stop. So I think what we're actually going to do, there is a little guard tower. Tell you what, let's stop at the guard tower. And then the next episode, we'll check out the guard tower, see what's up there, and continue our journey. We need to find doors and a hatch. Honestly, are secondary. We need to find this little cage buster because we will not be able to track how far we drive without it. You don't want to park too close. If you park too close to structures in this game, when you save, they will absolutely bug out, and it will be the worst thing. Your entire game can just explode. So I think then we're going to... I just want to fix this, that was bothering me. Nope. Drop it, you bloody fool. Hey, there we go. That actually, I mean, all things considered, I don't want this. Looks okay. Alright, so we're going to call it here for this episode, and this will be episode 1 of The Long Drive. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time. We'll be here again. We'll continue on with episode 2, try to go a little bit further, get this car built out some more, and we will see what we can get into next time. Guys, again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy it, leave us a like, subscribe, comment. Didn't like it, give us a thumbs down. Trying to get started here. Like I said, this is our first series, our first episode, so every little bit helps. Have a good day.